One day, I woke up and my artistic spirit, my creativity, my muse, my access to the source, whatever you want to call it, just vanished one day. As an artist, when you wake up one day and you no longer feel that artistic spark, something awful happens to you. Two specific things happen. A depression settles in because you are not sure who you are anymore. The longer that this creative block goes on, the more and more isolated you feel from this identity that gives you a sense of purpose, or at least provides you like a place in the world, right? I'm an artist, this is what I do, and then you wake up one day and you don't have inspiration to do that thing, or the will to do that thing, and the longer that goes on, the longer that you sit in front of your laptop failing to write anything, or sit in front of your canvas failing to paint anything, or whatever your medium is, the longer that goes on, the more anxious and worrying and sad this question gets about who am I if I'm not doing this thing. You can be led to an incredibly dark place because of this lack of purpose. And then the other thing that happens is you start to worry that this creative block that you're facing is never going to end, because there's no date on the calendar that says, congratulations, your artistic block is going to last from February 2nd to March 3rd. That doesn't exist, right? And in that uncertainty, a lot of additional anxiety and even grief has room to fester, you know? And if you're a doughy, sensitive, artistic, artsy-fartsy person like myself, this uncertainty, this anxiety can become absolutely unbearable. And luckily for me, with support from friends and family and a lot of internal work, I have come onto the other side of this creative block, and I have navigated through it, and there are things that I have learned, not just about myself, but just about the artistic process in general, that I feel like is broadly applicable. So now I'm going to share that with you. So if you are currently navigating a creative block right now and you are incredibly bummed about it, stay tuned. And if you're an artsy, creative person who has stumbled upon this video who is not suffering from a creative block right now, I still want you to watch, because I want this video to worm its way into your brain, because the creative block is coming for you. It spares no one. It is a merciless force of nature, and I want you to have a little bit of some tools in the toolbox to address it when it comes for you, because it's like the Grim Reaper. It's coming for us all, I promise. So one of the first things that I want to touch on is where creativity, artistic inspiration comes from. Because if we can identify where it comes from, then we can better our lives and shape our lives to better facilitate our access to this thing. The fun stuff, the muse, the whatever you want to call it, the source. Creativity comes from a place that you may not expect. Most of the creativity in this life comes from the feeling, the experience of boredom. Boredom is a built-in natural motivator that gets us up and out of our chairs, off our asses, and out into the world doing something. Maybe it's super productive, maybe it's just kind of playful and whimsical. Doesn't necessarily matter. Boredom is a natural force that wants us to get up and do something else. Think about what life would be like without boredom. If you could just sit and do one activity for hours and hours and hours and hours and never get tired of it, think of all the things that you would miss out on. It might be an unpleasant feeling, but think about the advantage that boredom gave, like early man. Let's dial the time clock back 10,000, 14,000 years. You are constantly being preyed upon. There are natural disasters you're navigating. There's winter coming, and if you don't have enough to eat during the winter, you're fucked. You're just boned. You're gonna be a fossil, and we're gonna dig you up, and they're gonna be like, wow, the bones of this person were really small, and they were probably starving to death. We don't want that, okay? For I guess the past version of you that is somehow watching this video. So, with that in mind, boredom is something that we actually, to be creative and truly fulfilled as an artist, is something that we have to invite back into our lives. And in the modern era, boredom is actually harder and harder to come by, unless you're at work and they don't let you do anything on the company Wi-Fi. then you probably have a lot of boredom going on. But in general, our attention spans have become a valuable commodity. Our damn phones and all of the social media apps that are on these phones are designed to eat up as much of our attention as possible. They're trickling in dopamine in the form of notifications, in the form of endless scrolling, in the form of short-form video content. All of these things that our dumb ape brains were never designed to defend themselves against. The modern world is so cynically designed to just feed you content constantly. It is almost impossible to escape. The internet used to be a room in your house, and now it is this, like, attention-stealing demon that is in your pocket at all times. So if you're trying to push through a artistic identity crisis creative block, then you need to make space for boredom in your life. And one of the first things that you need to do in order to do that is to consume less. We have been so trained by now in 2026 to just mindlessly consume so much content. Obviously, TikTok is becoming increasingly infamous for its short-form content and how harmful that is for the brain and also our moods in general. It's like one of the worst things you can do for yourself. Get off it if you can. It is uncomfortable, and you will be unhappy at times to sit and be bored instead of picking up the dopamine drip feed machine, and you may even be somewhat horrified by how often you are checking and glancing at your phone as soon as you try to stop looking at it so much. At least I was. But it is important that you do this and you push through, because life is so much better when you finally reconnect to that artistic side of yourself. No infinite scrolling, no dopamine drip is more cathartic and rewarding than rekindling that creative spark. Now, this doesn't mean never consume content. I think that's almost unavoidable at this day and age, but do your best to be incredibly mindful about the content that you're consuming, and I would go as far as to say, do your best to actually limit the total amount of time that you are spending just mindlessly consuming content. So step one is to invite boredom into your life and do whatever you can to protect periods of boredom. The phone, the internet are largely going to be enemies to this, so you must create a system or develop a routine that the internet and your boredom can cohabitate together, because in this modern era, usually the internet just wins. And the other thing that you need to know about this process is it does take time. So if you successfully become bored for an hour tomorrow, do not expect your artistic, creative muse to immediately come back. And if it does, I fucking hate you, because you are blessed by the universe for some fucking reason. I don't know why I didn't get that. But for the rest of us, we cannot expect our purpose to return to us so easily. So that is another thing that is very essential to bear in mind. This process, unless you are frustratingly blessed by the universe, takes a lot of time, so please be patient. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is what I consider to be the hardest part of this whole creative block destruction. Oh, holy shit. I think I finally got my hair out of my face. So, anyway, like I was saying, the next part of this is what I consider to be the hardest part, because unfortunately, just one of the things that we have to do to push past this is to just sit down for at least 20 minutes a day, every day, at least as many days as you can reasonably afford to do, and just create stuff. And you're probably not gonna like it. You're probably gonna look at what you've made and feel it's very uninspired or unoriginal. It might irritate you, it might even piss you off, it might make you sad even. It's like, damn, what the fuck was this that I just made? But I promise you, keep doing this. Remember to be patient, like I was saying before, but this is incredibly important for the artistic process, because our brains are like sponges. They are absorbing and ruminating and playing with the things that we feed them. And if you want to get jazzed about art again, then you have to engage with your art again. Now, I'm not asking you to do this for hours and hours every single day. I am asking you to do it every single day, and I am asking you to do it for at least 20 minutes a day, at least at the very beginning. That's enough time to just sit down, and if you're a painter, start throwing color down. If you're a writer, get some kind of incredibly unsatisfying poem or short story out. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be excellent. You will probably dislike it, but it is really important that you do this, because that is one of the things that is going to help get the creative gears turning and the artistic juices flowing again, I promise. Additionally, especially at this very early stage, it is important to look at your art as a creative process rather than trying to produce a product or create a thing. So just to contextualize what I've just said, I'm going to have a little thought, a little perspective showdown for you right now. Let's say you're a painter. The thought of, how can I create a cool reflection and water effect, is going to be way more helpful to your creativity and way more likely to get you to actually throw paint down on a canvas than the thought of, I need this painting to be really good and I need other people to really like it so I don't feel so bad about myself as an artist. This one is going to lead you down an infinite path of despair and torment. This way of thinking is creativity defeating. It is just not how creative minds are meant to function and produce things that we enjoy. Think about like a fitness trainer. I don't think you would see a lot of repeat business from a fitness trainer that is constantly belittling you and cutting you down and setting up incredibly high stakes. Successful fitness trainers are very encouraging and optimistic and patient and can demonstrate some compassion, or at least the ones that see repeat business are like that. You gotta treat your art the exact same way. Not just be patient and kind, but just dismantle all of the emotionally charged, negative, high stakes. Because it's really hard to be creative when you feel like you have like a gun to your identity. We can't be thinking this way anymore. I tried this way for years and years and years, and it did fuck all for me, so just give it up. Now the next thing, this may not apply to everyone, but if you are like me and you struggle with ADHD, and if you struggle with developing and maintaining internal motivators to do things, luckily there are plenty of external motivators that already exist that we can just take advantage of right now. The most productive, creatively fulfilling period of my life was when I was in college, and the reason for that is because I had assignment deadlines, and I was very motivated by not disappointing the professors and my peers by not showing up and not creating things. I am somebody that is very motivated by a shared creative process, or at the very least, public accountability for doing something or not doing something. And luckily, we live in a world where lots of cool things are going on that can facilitate a very similar function that an assignment deadline would. One of the things that I've been doing that has been really, really helpful for me is, I'm a writer. That's my preferred, well, I do photo and video also, but the thing that I'm really trying to develop right now is my writing. The thing that I've been doing is I've been going out onto the internet and I've been looking for writing competitions. Luckily, they all have a deadline, and if I want to participate in something, I have a set period of time that I can interact with how I please, or if I choose to, I can even procrastinate until the very last possible moment. But it doesn't matter if I procrastinated, because I am still creating, even if it's the 11th hour. I cannot tell you how exciting and fun learning this about myself was. Turns out, just a little bit of pressure from the outside world to get up and go and do something was one of the missing pieces that I needed to really push through this artistic block. If you have a different medium than writing, there are still plenty of opportunities to get out into the world and just start throwing around and experimenting. If you're a musician, there's a battle of the bands with a bunch of scrappy youngsters going on somewhere. That is a perfect place, a perfect opportunity to force yourself to get down and do something. Now, another thing that I've been doing that has been incredibly helpful in jumpstarting my creativity and pushing through this creative block is to work my way through this book, The Artist's Way. Now, this copy was gifted to me by somebody whose artistic and creative chops I greatly respect, so I kind of already had a default trust and enthusiasm to try this. But luckily, this is so well written and so intentionally executed that my trust in this book is going to be long term, and I am very excited to push through and finish the whole thing because it has just proven to be massively helpful. And I'm only halfway through, so I can only imagine how much more empowered I'm going to feel by the time I reach the end of it. So, cannot recommend this book enough, and thank you so much, Sarah, for gifting this to me. I have been loving it so far. The last part of this video, I kind of alluded to this before, but one of the great obstacles in our journey, our healing journey to defeat and push past this artistic creative block, is going to be your phone. Your ability to focus, your dopamine system, it is going to be so essential to rescue these things from your phone, and also the rest of your life is going to benefit from this too. Really, really working on your phone addiction is going to be one of the most important things that you can do to heal your artistic self and just better your life. Now, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, if my problem is digital, I really like an analog solution. App timers never worked for me. I'm just gonna give myself more time when I hit that limit. I've watched myself do it many times, so I know that's how I'm gonna operate. You cannot give the addict the keys to the medicine cabinet because they're just going to open it. So what I have done is develop a little system that tracks how many times I reach and open my phone out of boredom, and then I write that number down and I gamify it, because the next day I'm going to try to use my phone slightly less than the day before. And the way that I've been doing this is with this. I am holding this at this weird angle so you can see it in the monitor. But I'll get a close-up shot of this. So I bought this little counter ring. Now, these were intended for crocheters to like count the rows or whatever that they're working on. But you don't necessarily have to use it for that. Most of them are rainbow colored. I had to get one in black because I love black and I'm not trying to look gay, obviously. But this has been massively helpful for a couple different reasons. One, it is incredibly hard to make lifestyle changes without data. And I am ADHD, so I am not going to remember to bring my little notebook with me to track every time I open my phone. I'm gonna forget. But wearing this on my finger, using it on my thumb that I literally use to open my phone with, it's not going anywhere. I have constant access to this, and it becomes incredibly easy to track data with it, which will then make it easier to reduce that number as time goes on, because just relying on memory, I think I checked my phone 40 times yesterday, and today I think I did 25. That's not helpful. Actual data, actually writing it down, and actually being able to track your progress is what's really going to keep you motivated. Now, the other thing that I really like about this little ring, is if you're in Utah, you might be familiar with something called a CTR ring. CTR stands for Choose the Right, and it is something that Mormon, I don't know if it comes from, like, I don't know who in the Mormon faith these are coming from. It's some kind of Mormon product, but it's designed to be a wearable reminder of your promise to your faith, essentially. Choose the right thing, right? This thing is basically the creator's equivalent of a CTR ring. It is a constant, wearable, visual reminder of the life choices that you're trying to make that are going to better your life and invite that incredibly cathartic and rewarding creative experience back into your life. And just to clarify, when I say check your phone out of boredom, if you're specifically looking for a message or specifically looking to call somebody back or write an important email, that does not necessarily count. This is only keeping track of how many times the phone is defeating boredom. So if you're just sitting there and you're at a stoplight or you're waiting for your food to cook or something in the microwave, and you're just glancing at your phone because you're bored, that's what this is tracking. Now, I think the worst that I ever got was up in my upper 20s, maybe 27, and these days I am regularly keeping my phone checking at less than 10. Sometimes it's like 12 or even 15, but I have basically halved the amount of time that I'm reaching for my phone out of boredom, and that is so much more boredom in my life that is fueling creativity. And the last few weeks, I have been more creative and more assured as an artistic person than I have been in a really long time. And I don't think there's any one solution, one magic thing that's going to fix your creative block. I think it's going to be a family of different strategies, which is what my journey has been. Maybe you'll get lucky and maybe just one of these things are going to be what's going to work for you. But these are the things that have really helped me, and I love a analog solution to a very digital problem. So I love an opportunity to make a video to talk about this fun little thing. But I've been yapping for long enough. I hope any of this helps you. I really do. If you're somebody who's navigating a creative block right now, just try this stuff. It really, really works. Just take it from me. I thought my creativity was dead forever and never fucking coming back. I am thrilled to report that I'm wrong, and I doubt that me and you are really that much different on a fundamental level, so just give it a try. I think it will probably work for you also. And if you don't have a creative block right now, I hope that you'll remember these little pieces of advice, because if I can help you reduce the amount of time that you're suffering under a creative block, I will be thrilled. I think that will be absolutely worth it. So just, count your blessings if you're not under a creative block right now, and make a mental note of these little strategies so you can help yourself out in the future. That's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm out.